So Alicia and I were called to a house to get a feral mother and 2 kittens. We were told the kittens were walking around age. So we figured at least 4 weeks. The lady told us where the mama stashed the litter, which was under a tree branch in some gnarly azalea bushes. So I went back there and I heard one kitten crying. And when the kitten started crying, Mama came. And when she realized what I was doing, she took off. So this is the baby that we found. The litter mate to this baby was just freshly dead. Probably died maybe an hour ago. And this thing had more fleas on it than there were spots. And you can see how many spots are on that little baby's belly. Alicia's been sitting here picking out fleas off this baby.
In a water bottle.
And
the water bottle's half full.
Yeah, the water bottle's full of fleas in the bottom. And both these eyes on this baby were completely gooed shut.
But he looks good now.
Couldn't open his eyes, so I had to bathe this kitten and get all these fleas off of it. It's so weak. Show him the gums. The gums are so pale because it's absolutely anemic from being sucked dry from all these fleas.
They're pretty much white.
They're gray. Look at this little sweet baby.
Come on, dude.
And Nancy, God love her, one of my fosters who is amazing with babies, has agreed to take this little baby because he's definitely not old enough to be eating on his own. We think maybe 3 weeks. She's agreed to take him and bottle feed him and get him weaned. Hopefully a couple of weeks she'll have him if he lives. But this little baby is so emaciated and just was so covered in fleas. Alicia got most of the fleas off him. His whole head was just completely covered with them.
I was trying.
I mean, he had fleas in his ears, in his eyes, up his nose, in his mouth. His whole little body was peppered with them.
Not only did he have fleas, he had ants on him too.
Yeah, he had ants on him too. The other baby that was laying right next to him was covered in ants. We're going to take that baby home and bury it in our Garden of Lost Souls. I know this little dude is probably chilly, but feeling much better because the fleas aren't eating him alive. Poor little guy. So this is what a 3-week-old kitten fresh out of the bushes looks like. Hi, sweet baby. Hello, sweet baby.
He needs a name.
So if it's a female, I'm probably going to name her Azalea because she was...
I have an Azalea.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
No, we're not keeping that cat.
Oh, well.
So, if it's a female, we'll probably name her Azalea. If it's a boy, I don't know what.
Jeremiah.
But, yeah, this little baby, if we'd have left it, was hours from being dead. Because the sibling was already dead.
You have a girl.
Oh, good. It's a girl. So we have an Azalea. I have not checked her sex because I was too busy yanking her out of the shrubbery and pulling fleas off of her. So, we've had her, what, about 15 minutes?
About 20.
Maybe 20. And we are on the way to the Fosters to drop this baby off so Nancy can go ahead and get her warmed up and get some formula in her and finish picking fleas off of her. But there you have it. That is a kitten out of the wild, fresh from a feral mama.
And that's not the only one we have in here.
No, and that's not the only one we have in here. We have another one in a carrier that we plucked up out of the wild, but that one is much bigger. That one's probably close to 6 weeks. And was not very happy for me to grab it, but tough nuggets, that's what it happens. But I've already held it and loved on it, and it didn't seem to be as loaded with fleas as this one. This one's absolutely exhausted, probably from the bath and all the commotion. But, you know, this is what kitten season is all about when you don't spay and neuter. And if I had the little dead one up here, I'd show that too, because people need to see what that looks like. A 3-week-old kitten eaten alive by fleas. So, it's not a pretty sight, but people need to know that this is what's happening. They need to know that this is the death and the suffering that happens with these babies. You know, it's not just a cat that had babies somewhere. It's a living being that is out somewhere, left to the elements and mama's own devices. And, you know, tucked in a bush somewhere so the fleas and the ants can eat it alive.
With a huge pit bull in the backyard.
Yeah, there was a huge pit bull in the backyard. Mama didn't really know that the pit bull couldn't get to it, but what if it had? It probably would have eaten both of these kittens, which is why we got the call to begin with, because the owner was afraid that the dog was going to get the kittens and kill them. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So this is kitten number 43 for the last couple of weeks. 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks now. So, thank God for my foster Nancy, because if this kitten has a chance to live, it's with her. It's not with me right now, because I don't have the time to bottle feed it and care for it the correct way. If this kitten is going to live and have a chance, it is totally in Nancy's hands. And she may not live. She may be too far gone. Don't know. So, say a prayer.
Right. She'll go with a full belly and she'll go loved.
Yes, she will. If she does die, she will go in a warm house, clean, loved, with a full belly. And no fleas. So, say a prayer that Nancy is given the grace to save this baby, and that little sweet Azalea has the grace to pull through it. Because this little girl is sick. She is touch and go.
Her heart's beating so fast.
She's scared to death, I'm sure. So, say a prayer, y'all.